As I learned early in my SAA recovery time, is that you hang out in your middle circle, which is just kind of that danger zone, long enough, you're going to end up in your inner circle. It's just a matter of time. Hello, hello. Happy holidays. And welcome to today's episode of the. We are your hosts coming to you live, kind of live, maybe live. I don't know. We live from the point of purpose Facebook.
a live recording, recorded live in our remote offices, all over the country.
Yes, from P2P Studios. I'm your host, Matthew Sinkovitz, my co-host, Yeadon Smith. Yeadon, welcome,
Great
brother.
salutations.
Honored to have you with us. Brothers, thanks for joining us here on another episode today. We are opening up today's episode and digging in on a very relevant topic, on a very relevant conversation piece as we enter the holiday season. At the time at which we are recording this episode, we're just a day before Thanksgiving. And we are entering the holiday season officially, I think it's safe to say. Would you say, Yeadon?
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's the holiday season.
It is the holiday
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And with that, in the 12-step community, they say like every addict's, biggest like period or season of vulnerability is often this holiday season, right? And I don't really like to use the term blanket addicts, but whatever you want to call it, people that struggle with different things, different vices. The holiday season can be a very prime time for triggers. We're around family, we're around food, schedules are thrown off. We're oftentimes not at work. Sometimes there's loneliness. There's all kind of stuff going on around the holiday season, and it's a prime time to get triggered. It's a prime time to get thrown off. It's a prime time to go into a spiral. It's a prime time to lose our footing. It's a prime time to throw in the towel at the end of the year and say, I've worked hard all year. I'm going to take a breather. And it's a prime time to slip, to slip into a spiral. And so today, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, the spirit of the holiday season, maybe you're listening to this closer to the end of the year. Maybe it's Christmas by the time you hear this as a podcast recording. We want to dig into this conversation around danger zones, holiday chaos, and getting back on track amidst the holiday season.
Yep. So I'm thinking about at the time of our recording this, we're not even quite in December yet, but I'm thinking about in October, I had multiple events happen. I was traveling 2 weekends in a row for Thursday to Monday, things like that. And I think about how in this time frame in our social calendars, our work schedules, our school calendars, like my daughter right this week is on Thanksgiving break. She doesn't have school. Her routine is off. And tomorrow we got Thanksgiving. There's Black Friday, day after Thanksgiving is Saturday, Sunday. There's 4 non-working days for most jobs, for most employees. If you have a 9 to 5, you're probably not working. I know you're not working tomorrow on Thanksgiving, probably not working on Friday.
Yeah.
If you're in retail, I'm so sorry. Right. And then later on in December, just 4 weeks later, we'll have the Christmas, which usually, again, is you got Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, whatever day those fall on, you'll have an extended period of time, 3, 4, 5 days maybe, where, routine is off. I just experienced that in October, and it was crazy. It was tough. I wasn't in my own space. I was traveling. I wasn't with my regular people. I was with friends. I wasn't on my regular schedule. The schedule was all chaotic. So if your holiday season was like that, man, I understand. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because everybody's is going to be like that. We all have the same types of pressure.
Yeah.
And it is, And I think the reason why, maybe in the 12, well, I don't want to say the reason why, but I suspect that a reason why the 12-step communities talk about holidays as being uh, danger zones,
Yeah.
because we're not in our normal routine. We're not in
Yeah.
our normal cadence.
Yeah.
We let our guard down a little bit because we're not actively as focused. Like, oh, I can take my foot off the gas.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about this, that, the other thing, and I can just chill.
Yeah. And let's be honest, there's a celebratory spirit,
Mm-hmm.
I would say, present, So yeah, to Yeadon's point, oftentimes we're saying, what the heck, have a little fun, celebrate, relax, and these environments can be very conducive to, to going down a track which oftentimes doesn't serve us.
I have to tell you, talking about like, oh, it's a holiday, right? Okay, so I'm not going to mention any names. Not going to paint anybody into a corner or use the names have been changed. This is just a buddy of mine. Okay. Just somebody I know. Somebody I know who had serious health issues this year, and to the point where, had a heart attack, had a very mild heart attack. But my friend is on strict instructions from all the medical establishments, like, hey, you got to change how you eat. You got to go on, heart healthy diet, kind of low sodium, low processed foods, fruits, vegetables, stuff like that. Well, my buddy is upset because he can't have his specific type of turkey on Thanksgiving. He has to eat low sodium turkey. And I was talking with him the other day, and he's like, well, man, it's once a year. It's once a year. But here's the thing. It's not really once a year with this guy. Every weekend is a once a year event.
Right.
Like, oh, the Super Bowl, it's only once a year. My birthday, it's only once a year. 4th of July is like, bro, you can come up with 52. It's only once a year.
Right.
Every week of the year. It's like,
right.
Oh man, it's only December 1st once this year. I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Let's celebrate. Let's throw caution to the wind and just throw out our habits.
Yep.
And I love Thanksgiving. I am incredibly thankful for my partner, Matt. I'm thankful for the Liberation Bootcamp. I'm thankful for Finding Recovery with Porn to Purpose. I'm thankful for my years of work so far in becoming the best version of myself, free from pornography. And I want to celebrate that.
Yep.
And brother out there listening, I want you to celebrate what you're grateful for this holiday season as well, right? Celebrate, but we can celebrate and stay on track.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's that piece of us that's like, oh man, you don't have to be as caught. You don't have to have the guardrails up as strong.
Yep. Yep.
So I suspect that's one of the reasons why 12-step communities talk about holidays as being, extra slippery slope type scenario.
Absolutely. And I think that brings us to our first kind of point here perfectly, Yeadon. And that is, so it's like, maybe you guys are listening to this and you say, hey, we're here talking about porn. Why are you guys talking about holidays and food and schedules, right? And alcohol and all this stuff? It's because I think what's critical to recognize is that this season, this time of the year, these celebratory seasons, these seasons when we're around family, when schedules are different, right? When we're in this different kind of mode, it's recognizing that we are in kind of a danger zone, if you will. We're hanging out in the middle circle. And as I learned early in my SAA recovery time, they say you hang out in your middle circle, which is just kind of that danger zone, long enough, you're going to end up in your inner circle. It's just a matter of time, right? So I think, and so that being the case, for me, what I recognize is a lot of pornography addiction or pornography associated activity. It starts not with porn, but it starts with being off track in my schedule. It starts with overindulging with food. It starts with staying up too late and being tired the next day. It starts with hanging out in environments where maybe I'm feeling more triggered than usual. And one thing leads to the next. and it's a slope. And before we know it, maybe we're hanging out too late. Maybe we're in front of the screen. We're on our phone. Our guard is down. Our mind is oftentimes in a more depleted state. We're relaxed, right? And things have a way of slipping in. So I think one of the keys in the piece we want to start this conversation off with here today is like recognizing, hey, I am going to be hanging out in my inner circle, probably for an extended period, much more than usual, and it's important for me to be vigilant, as I move into this season.
Something else, and I love that, Matt, with hanging out in the middle circle, take your eye off the ball. Something else that popped into my head as we navigate events, specifically ones that center around family. It's not that it's a porn problem, it's a pain problem. We say this regularly. We don't have a porn problem, we have a pain problem, and porn is the pill we take to manage the pain.
Yeah.
And who knows how to cause emotional pain like family? Right? Being around your brother that you haven't seen in a year, 2 years, being around maybe your parents who are always nitpicking at how you're raising their grandkids. Maybe it's about being around your aunt or uncle that is just kind of the weird, creepy old person that doesn't understand personal boundaries and talks about all the craziest stuff, right?
Being in the house you grew up in.
Being in the house you grew up in, possibly, right? And these are all like sensitive trigger plates, pressure switches of just pain. As it's like, oh man, and especially if we're hanging out in that middle circle where we're not actively flexing, training our pain management skills of active recovery. It's like, you know what? I can sleep in today. I don't need to get up like I normally do and go for a walk. And maybe you can. Maybe you can sleep in and you still have time to get up and go for a walk. But if the family's hanging out at 9 a.m. and you're getting up at 8:30, I can tell you that's not enough time to get through any type of morning routine. So we take our foot off the gas with our active recovery habits, which lessens our capacity to handle the pain effectively.
Absolutely.
And then bing, it doesn't take much.
Yep.
Right back on it.
Yes, sir. So we're entering this holiday season. We recognize we're entering a period where we're probably going to be hanging out in the middle circle for an extended period, likely more times than most. Like, what's the prescription as we move into this into this season or these periods of life?
Well, a couple of things. One is we have the 4-rack formula, which we go through regularly. I'm not going to go through it specifically right now, but yes, I am. We have the 4-rack formula, right? It's like, remember the pain, refocus on the paradise. Okay, help me out, Matt. I always get stuck on number 3. Remember the pain, resolve to your commitment.
Reflect on your why, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Resolve to your commitment.
Mm-hmm.
Reflect on what you're actually needing.
Yes, reflect on what you're needing. Yes.
Reflect on what you're needing.
Mm-hmm.
Ask yourself, how else can I meet this need?
Yep.
Choose that action. Choose what action you're going to take, right? So if you take this 4-rack formula and practice it ahead of time. When I say practice it, I mean like look in the mirror, practice.
Yep.
Like it was painful when I was using porn. I want a life free from porn. I am going to, when I feel the urge, I'm going to take a breath. I'm going to go in a different room. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to step outside. That's when you figure out what it is you're going to do, how you're going to interrupt the cycle, break the pattern interrupt, be like, oh, I feel the urge. I have to take a beat so I can figure out what's actually going on.
Yep.
So that then I can make a decision consciously. Oh, I'm tired because we were all up till 1 a.m. last night playing Uno like we always do as a family. I need to take a nap, whatever it is.
Yep.
So you have to practice. You have to like pre-game, go through it in your head ahead of time to be like, what am I going to do when I feel the urge?
Yep.
I need like something I can just like, oh, I'm feeling it.
Yep.
I'll be right back. I'm going to just walk around the house one time, whatever.
Yep. And here's what I'd like to add to that. So that's kind of in the response, like in the spirit of response. Okay, I notice
Yeah.
I'm tired. I notice I'm triggered, right? I notice I'm feeling emotional right now. How am I going to respond? Critical piece of the puzzle. And what I'd love to offer is like even getting ahead of that. Okay, I know this
Yes.
weekend is going to be tough. I know I'm going to be up late and out of the house early. I know I'm going to have a family, a house full of kids or family members or whatever it is, or I know I'm going to be on the road. How am I going to plan my day and schedule myself, right? So that I can, for instance, get up and maybe get some core four in, you know? How am I going to ensure that um, I'm setting up some parameters so I'm not overeating too much or over drinking too much, you know, or hanging up too late in front of the screen after a full day of kind of hanging out and partying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like getting ahead of that. Like, what am I going to do to get ahead of the game this holiday season?
And to that point, something that I would offer for listeners out is like whenever you're doing this exercise, our tendency is to give ourselves more credit than we deserve, thinking like, oh, I'll be able to do this, 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 and this. And it's
Right?
like, bro, chill out. You
Yeah.
might be able to do two of those five things,
Yeah.
right? So something I've learned about myself is because one of the things that I do is I track all of my food. Um, pretty consistent with staying at my calorie budget for the day and getting my macros and everything with all my training schedules or training routines. But in the past, I have put on my like goal for the week. It's like this week, I got this event coming up and I'm not going to go over my calorie budget
Yeah.
as a specific mission. What I have found is if I go over my calorie budget because it's a special event, I'm like, oh man, I'm going to have that extra slice of pizza. Once I cross that threshold, I stop tracking.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like, oh, screw it. I'm already over my calorie budget. I'm not even going to track what I eat the rest of the day
Yep.
because I've already blown it.
Yep.
Now, this week, I don't think I've set myself up for failure because I'm not trying to stay under a specific calorie budget. I'm probably going to eat, 5,000 calories tomorrow and another 5,000 calories on Friday, something like that.
Yep.
But I've given myself grace because more critical than my calorie budget is actually tracking everything for me for this
Yeah.
specific habit. Now, when it comes to my core four and my recovery habits, y'all, for me, my core four habits are critical. The only acceptable reason for me is I'm sick or physically incapacitated,
Yep.
right? I am going to get my core four habits: exercise, reading, journaling, and meditation, minimum viable product at some point during the day.
Yep.
Even if I'm just writing I am going to exercise that muscle. Even if you normally lift 50-pound dumbbells in the gym and you go to the gym and all you can do is a 1-pound dumbbell, you still went to the gym.
Yeah.
You didn't break a link in the chain. So on days where all I can do is write one sentence in my journal, I
Yep.
didn't break the chain.
Yep.
I kept that muscle moving. So
Yep.
yeah, that for me is figuring out over the course of holiday events, special events, it's going to be unusual. What is the minimum viable product that I am unwilling to skip?
Yep. Yep. Beautiful stuff, man. It's right on the money. So, brothers, what's the application for you here? What is what's your Thanksgiving going to look like? What's it going to
Yeah.
look like this weekend? What is your Christmas going to look like? What is your New Year's going to look like? And I would say it invites some foresight. What's the next week going to look like for me? And how do I want to plan ahead to ensure that I'm able to stay between the lines as much as possible? And that leads me to my next point to and kind of to touch on your last point there, Yeadon, is let's say I have gone off the rails,
Mm.
right? To Yeadon's point, I blew it and I stopped tracking. I said, forget it. Maybe I get into a drift on social media. Maybe I stayed up too late last night and now I'm super tired and super depleted. I'm feeling emotional. Or I'm super triggered by a family conversation that happened this weekend and I'm in the drift now, I've blown it, right? Or I'm close to blowing it, or I recognize I'm in the spiral. How do we course correct, right? What are
Yeah.
some steps we can take to right the ship again? I think is a critical piece of the puzzle.
I think we do the same thing with recovery from something like porn addiction, pornography use, the same way we do with when we go off the rails if somebody's trying to lose weight or stick to a diet or stick to a eating program, right? Don't stop me if this sounds familiar. You're doing great, eating what you're supposed to. I'm talking about diet and exercise, right? You start a new program. It's like, oh man, feeling good, feeling good. Oh, I lost 3 pounds this week. Yeah, I'm eating what I'm supposed to be eating. Yeah. Oh, good, good, good. Saturday comes, buddy comes into town, beer and pizza, watching a movie, and you're like, I was not supposed to eat that. And then you're like, okay. You know what? I'm going to do better. I don't want to step on. I'm not going to step on the scale, because if I step on the scale, I know I'm going to wait 5 days. Then I'm going to step on the scale. I'm going to make sure, because if the scale goes up, I'm toast. I can't handle it. So you don't step on the scale. Sunday comes, is like, oh man, Easter Sunday, all the fixings, whatever, accidentally ate. 5 days goes down the road. You haven't course corrected any of your eating habits. You haven't stepped on the scale, and you're worse off.
Yep.
With porn, same thing.
Yep.
There's a relapse. You use porn, act out, inner circle activity, and you're like, okay, this is terrible. I'm going to keep this to myself, because the guilt, shame, fear waves crash.
Yep.
It's like, I'm going to keep this to myself. I can't tell anybody. I'm not going to tell my accountability part. I'm not going to tell my community, right? Let me get another couple weeks of sobriety. Then I'll tell us, like, guys, by the way, I had a reset 3 weeks ago. I'm good now.
Right.
You're like, I got this, right? That's not how this works.
Yeah.
That's not how the eating works. That's not how recovery from porn works. So if you get off track, best thing you can do, and this is a phrase I've heard Matt talk about, something he learned from 12-step meetings, is get in the habit of telling on yourself.
Yeah.
And tell on yourself early.
Yeah.
One thing that we use our voice chat with the Liberation Bootcamp is, hey, if you're feeling the pull, drop it in the chat. It's like, you know what? Inner addict just tried to take the wheel and yank it real hard.
Yeah.
And drive me straight off a cliff.
Yeah.
And I really want to go watch porn right now.
Yep.
And I'm checking it in.
Yep.
And then the desire kind of evaporates after that. The pull lessens so much. So if you fall off, if you use porn, inner circle territory, best thing you can do is course correct. do 10-minute reset, right? Drink some water, move around, pick your space up, step outside, take deep breaths, write down what triggered you, and reach out to someone safe.
Yeah. I'd say oftentimes it's take a nap,
Yeah.
Take a nap. Oftentimes whenever acting out behavior starts to creep up, whether it's porn or food or anything else, oftentimes there's fatigue, there's mental fatigue, there's exhaustion, there's burnout present, So man, or maybe you haven't crossed the line yet, but maybe you're about to, or you're at that you screaming, right? And the conversation's starting to make more sense, right? Man, I think, how do I let's notice what's present? And what I find very often is present is fatigue. So maybe it's just a nap. And I think one of the best things that we can do, especially if you've got the privilege or the luxury or the blessing of having a supportive community in your life around this conversation, or someone you can have this conversation with, as Yeadon mentioned, is check it in. Hey, here's where I'm at. Here's what's going on. Here's what's happened. Get visible. To Yeadon's point, telling yourself as early as possible, because it's almost like a pressure release valve, and we get to we speak to it, we release the pressure, we get visible, we step into the light, and that seems to oftentimes like to neutralize that charge that's present for us.
Yep.
Get back into accountability, get back into community, get back into visibility. big piece of the puzzle. Yes, sir.
And then extract the lesson, right?
Yes.
Learn, like dig and get curious about what's here to teach me. Where was I emotionally?
Yeah.
What part of the holiday hit me the hardest? What pattern did I ignore? What boundary do I need to set next time?
Yeah.
What habit do I need to protect? This turns a reset into information, actionable intel that you can use for next time. And then get back to normal life as fast as you can, right? Don't wait for Monday.
Yep.
Don't wait for after the holidays. Don't wait for January 1st. Don't wait for whatever day you're waiting for.
Yeah.
Start today.
Yeah.
Start with one anchor habit.
Yeah.
With
And whatever
one
it is,
next right thing.
Whatever it is, do it with grace too. That's what I want to offer,
Yeah.
man. It's like, hey, got off track. Okay, it happened. Here's what happened. I'm going to get back on the horse. Not, hey, I screwed up. I effed up. Piece of crap. Da 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 da. Here comes the shame story, which only pushes us more in that direction. Let's do it with love. Let's do it with kindness. Let's do it with self-compassion. Of course, we've got personal responsibility. We've got accountability. We want to do better, but we can do it lovingly as well, because the shame and the story doesn't help.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all make mistakes.
Yep.
And the best we can hope for is when we make a mistake to identify where can we improve.
Yep. Learn.
That's it.
Use the data. Get back on course.
Yeah. Well, brother, great to be with you here on the episode today. Recording the podcast.
Likewise.
Man, if you're out there listening, I realize you're listening to this after Thanksgiving. I hope your Thanksgiving was very thankful.
Yep.
I hope your holiday season, if it's been chaotic and this episode really resonated with you, man, shoot us a message. Reach out.
Yep.
If we can help, we are here.
Yep.
In the meantime, check us out. PornToPurpose.com. You can download that 4-rack formula worksheet. It's a free download that you can get. If you don't have it, we highly recommend it. You can practice recovery with it. Use it as a tool to actively participate in your recovery and maintain your sobriety more and more.
Yeah.
And thanks for listening out there. Matt, any final words?
Thanks, brothers. Thanks for being here. Yeadon, thanks for being here. Wishing you a beautiful, blessed holiday season. PornToPurpose.com. Love and appreciate you. And we look forward to seeing you next time, brothers. Peace.
Peace and power.
Noble men.
Noble men.